Hello and welcome to the Blessed Business Owners Podcast with your hosts, Stacey and Steph. Stacey is a virtual assistant, social media manager, and business coach, and Steph is a copywriter and book editor. We're twin sisters and Christians who run our online business together called Twin Book Media, where we help women entrepreneurs grow their businesses and authors prep their books for publishing. We also provide coaching to women online business owners who want to start and grow their business with support. If you're a Christian woman who is an online business owner or author, we created this show just for you. Here on the Blessed Business Owners Podcast, we're teaching you how to build and grow a Christ-centered and God-led dream life and business you love that leaves you feeling blessed instead of stressed. Let's make your God-given dreams become your reality together. Here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Blessed Business Owners Podcast with your host, Stacey. Since it's the first official episode, today I'm giving you an introduction to us, our podcast, and our business journey, so you can learn about who we are, what we do in our business, who we help, what the podcast is about, who it's for, and how we got started in business up to this point. Hope you enjoy. Let's get started. So first, I'm going to share a little bit about us in case you're new here and you're not familiar and you're just finding us through this podcast. So I'm Stacey, one of your hosts, and I'm a virtual assistant, social media manager, and also a business and mindset coach. And my twin sister, Steph, who is co-host of this podcast, and my business partner. She is my twin sister and my best friend. She is a book editor and copywriter. We're both Christians, introverts, homebodies, and we love the beach. The beach is our happy place. We were born and raised in Connecticut, where we still currently live, surrounded by our family, who we're very close to, and our puggle dog, Jake, who's almost 15, and we love him to death. Our hobbies include reading, listening to music, cooking, baking, crafting, traveling, and making content on our YouTube channel, which we also have. If you would like to check it out, it is linked below. We also love watching movies and TV shows. And some of our favorite shows include Friends and Gilmore Girls. And we love Hallmark movies and we love Great American Family movies. Just good, family-friendly, clean, lighthearted romance type movies and rom-coms. Those are our jam. We come from a big Italian family, so we love to eat a little too much, especially pizza and pasta, which are our favorite foods. We're basically Joey from Friends, like we always say, because he's Italian, comes from a big family, and loves to eat. Our dream is to live by the beach in a small coastal town and open our own bookstore while growing our online small business. So that is a little bit about us. I hope you enjoyed that. Now I'm going to discuss a little bit about what our business is, who we serve, and what we offer. So, our online small business together that Steph and I run as partners is called Twin Book Media, and we provide administrative, marketing, and also editing related services to our clients who are women, online business owners, and also authors and writers. So that is a little bit about our business as a whole, and now I'm going to go into our business story so you can kind of hear a little bit about our journey in business and how we got started, what led to this point, all the good stuff. So hope you enjoy it. So backing up, before we started our business, Twin Book Media, we were actually both self-employed and working in our own separate online businesses that we both started in 2020. So when the COVID pandemic hit that year in 2020, at the time, I was unemployed, I was lost, looking for my next job with very little luck. I had graduated from college at the University of Connecticut, here where we live, back in 2017 with a bachelor's degree in psychology and human development and family studies, with the intention of getting my master's degree and becoming a therapist. But I decided to take some time off before going to grad school just to get out in the world, gain some work experience in the industry, and I was just tired of school, frankly. I wanted to take a break. I ended up getting my first job out of college working in social services at a nursing home, which I honestly hated. I did not like that job. So I ended up bouncing around after that, after I quit that job, to different jobs instead of going back to school. So I hadn't found fulfillment in any job that I had as a post-grad, and I just couldn't find a good, stable, full-time job I enjoyed. But I no longer had any desire to go back to school and rack up even more student loan debt, you know what I mean? So, and it was definitely, I think, our location that had something to do with it, because Honestly, I went to school in Connecticut. We were born here, and I just never left. I just wanted to stay close to family and everything like that. So I think the location, now that I look back, was partly why I had such a hard time finding a good job. But I was lost, I was helpless, discouraged with my post-college life that seemed so full of promise. If you're a college grad, you could probably relate. You usually leave college with a very like idealistic and hopeful mindset because when you're in school, they kind of like, I don't want to say lie to you, but they don't really set you up for the real world because they kind of just like make it seem like you're just going to get this amazing, perfect job right out of school and it's going to be super easy and you're going to be happy. But it wasn't like that for me at all. Um, so that's how I was feeling. I was lost after college and yeah, just didn't know what to do. Didn't want to go back to school anymore, but I didn't know how to use my degree. So I was just feeling really lost. So moving forward to 2020, I was actually still looking for work when I came across an ad on Instagram with a masterclass about starting an online virtual assistant business. So I watched the video, I was intrigued, and I didn't know then just how much it was actually going to change my life. I had always dreamed of working from home, but I didn't think it was possible unless you had like a scammy, crummy job. So I was very intrigued when I heard the woman explain what a career as a virtual assistant looked like. And it felt like an answer to my prayers when I was, praying to God, searching for direction and clarity in my life. It really felt like an answer to prayers watching that masterclass. And I just knew in my gut that I had to pursue that opportunity. I had nothing to lose. So I ended up enrolling in the woman's virtual assistant course that she was promoting called 90 Day VA. And that's when I started my virtual assistant business during 2020 in the COVID pandemic, which was just a crazy time. But it was also a good time because people were starting to work from home. So I was so excited when I went through the course, put my business together, started it, and I actually quickly got my first client who was a mindset coach. So that was my first client that I found in the Facebook group that went with the course. There was a Facebook group that the instructor, like, she would post jobs in there that you could apply to while you were in the course, which is super helpful. So that's where I landed my first virtual assistant client. I was so excited because, being a psychology major, I like would wanted to work with coaches. So my first client was a coach. And then, funny enough, right when I started my business, right when I got my first client, the same month I started my business, I actually got hired to work from home in a 9 to 5 job in customer service for a fashion retailer. I had applied a couple months prior and never heard back. And then, like around the time I was starting my business, I got an interview, didn't know where it was going to go, and then I ended up getting the job. The same month I started my business, go figure, right? Like, I feel like everything always happens at the same time, all or nothing. So I got hired for that customer service job for a fashion retailer, which was fully remote. I just had to go for training in person for a couple of weeks, and then it was completely remote. So I ended up working that job full time for that company while I was growing my new virtual assistant business on the side. And I did that for almost a year, and it was very hard to juggle both as I was building my VA business and getting more clients, but I did it for almost a year. And then early in 2021, my business ended up growing to the point where I was earning pretty much the same amount that I was making in my 40-hour a week, 9 to 5 job that I honestly hated because I had to work second shift and I hated it. Even though I worked remotely, I hated it so much. So because my business had grown to that point of pretty much making the same amount of money as my 9 to 5 job, I ended up quitting my 9 to 5 in February of 2021. And I've been working for myself full time ever since in my business, which has been absolutely amazing. I love what I do so much, and I just feel so fulfilled by my work. I know God led me to my true purpose all those years ago, and I'm so grateful, even though I didn't know at the time where my life was going and where I was headed. I never saw it coming. I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur in my life. I always saw myself having a 9 to 5. I never ever saw myself being a business owner, even though there are a lot of entrepreneurs in our family. So, yeah, it's amazing how God's plan worked out so much better than the one I had for myself. Um, it was very hard when I finished college because I had my whole life planned out and everything like that. I'm a planner. And I had a perfect plan of how I wanted my life to go. And I realized quickly that it wasn't going to happen that way. And at the time, it was very frustrating. I was trying to trust God and, as a Christian, grow my relationship with Him, let Him lead me. But it was very, very hard to keep the faith and to trust Him when I had my own plan for my life. And I ended up letting go, trusting God, and now I look back and I see that God's plan really is better. That, like my pastor always says, His plan is better than the one you have for yourself. And now I can see that from our business journey. God's plan worked out so much better for my life than the one that I had planned. I probably wouldn't have been happy if I was working as a therapist. I would have, obviously loved helping people, but I feel like I would have been very, very drained from that job since I'm an introvert. And I would have been stuck in an office all day, not getting to choose the clients I work with and, not being my own boss. So I just feel like starting this virtual assistant business was what God wanted me to do. And I'm so glad that I obeyed him and pursued this path because now I just get to work from home for myself with a flexible schedule and do work I love and work with clients I love. So yeah, it's just amazing. I hope this inspires you to listen to God, let go of your dreams and your plans and ask him for guidance and ask him to show you his plan for your life and follow it because I promise you, his plan is better than yours. So that was just like an incredible thing to look back on. And that is a little bit of my business story. And now I'm going to quickly share a little bit of Steph's business story. So Steph's business story began in a very similar way. Steph actually did not go to college. So she just out of high school, she had a bunch of different jobs and she worked at a library for a couple of years. She always loved the book industry. We both been like readers our entire lives, so we both have always been passionate about authors and reading and books and everything like that. And she knew that she wanted to work in the book industry. So she worked at a library for 3 years and she had all these different jobs, kind of like me, but she did this right out of high school. She worked at a couple of bookstores and everything like that, and she just wanted more, but couldn't really work in publishing because you have to pretty much move to New York City for that. And even though we're only 2 hours away from New York, that's just not something she was interested in. Because like I said, we are close to our family, so we wanted to stay in Connecticut as long as possible. So yeah, she was feeling kind of lost, just like doing these dead end jobs, part time, having a hard time finding full time. And then in 2020, during the pandemic, just like for myself, she ended up starting her own book editing freelance business, um, which was really cool because, like I said, she had so much experience and knowledge about books, like from selling books, working at a bookstore and a library, and she just like wanted to do more than that to help authors. So she took a course on basically how to become a freelance book editor and went through it. And then she started working with her own clients who are indie authors. And yeah, she absolutely loved doing that. She also did get another job, like at another bookstore part time while doing her business. But she pretty much started, yeah, the same way. Just like she just felt like God was calling her and leading her to start her own business, even though she didn't see herself being an entrepreneur either. So it's interesting how God like led us both to that path, which is not like your typical 9 to 5 path. You know what I mean? And yeah, Steph has been working as a book editor and delving into also copywriting a little bit for the last few years. So yeah, we've both been working in our own businesses. So that was a little bit about Steph's story. And then after working in our own separate businesses for 4 years, from 2020 to 2024 last year, we had the desire from God to actually work together. Honestly, it was like always my dream. Since we're so close, we're twin sisters, we're best friends, we literally live together. So I always thought it would be interesting if there was a way we could work together, but I just didn't know if it was possible. So we had this desire from God last year, 2024, to work together, and then we decided to actually merge our businesses together in the fall of 2024 because we were like, why are we doing our businesses separate? We can literally just kind of combine them and then we can offer services together because we both want to work with, authors and online business owners. So it just kind of made sense. So in September 2024, we launched our new business, which is now Twin Book Media, that we're running together as a team. And we've been working here in our business together since. So it's been about 7 months now, which is absolutely crazy. It has been such an amazing journey. We just love working together so much, and we knew it was the right decision. We had always dreamed of this, and we just knew God was leading us to it. He was giving us this urge for a while, kind of telling us, like, why don't you, like, work together, combine your businesses? So we knew it was God's purpose and God's plan, and, we had that clarity, so we decided to actually obey Him and pursue it, and we're so glad we did because we're so happy. We could not be more fulfilled, happy, and we just feel like we're living our true purpose. We love the work we do. We love the clients we work with. We love working with female business owners and authors. We love them so much, and we're just so grateful and blessed to be excited to actually get up and work every day. We're just so incredibly grateful, and yeah, we're just so glad we listened to God and just let Him guide us, and kept our faith and obeyed Him and just listened along the way. So that's kind of our business story in a nutshell up to this point. I hope that inspired you. And now, really quickly, I want to share a little bit about this podcast and what we're going to be doing here. So you already heard the introduction, and we've already released the trailer at this point. So if you didn't listen to the podcast trailer, make sure to go back and listen to it. It was up before this one. So that'll give you kind of like a summary of what this podcast is, but yeah, I just wanted to explain it a little bit more. So we actually have been wanting to start a podcast for a little while. I've been having this desire. I think it was from God as well that, like, we do social media for our business, email marketing, YouTube, and then something was telling me to, like, start a podcast because we're just at the point of, like, we've been in business for a couple of years now. We have so much wisdom and knowledge to share. We just want to bless others and, share our knowledge and our wisdom with you. Who are our fellow business owners and authors. So that's why we started this podcast. We just want to spread our wisdom, our advice, our knowledge to help you build and grow your online business or start your author journey and be successful. Our desire is to teach you how to build and grow a God-led and successful online business or author career that you love, allows you to live your dream life, feeling blessed instead of stressed. That's kind of our catchphrase, and yeah, that is everything we are going to be doing here. And we're very, very excited about this new journey. This is completely new to us. We've never done a podcast before. So, yeah, we're starting imperfect and we are just gonna roll with it and see how it goes. We're really excited to be embarking on this journey with you. So I really hope that you will support us, support the podcast, and subscribe and tune in every week. And share this with someone you know who could use it, who can benefit from it as well. And yeah, on the podcast, we are going to make your God-given dreams become your reality together. And we are so incredibly excited to record more episodes. So that is a little bit of everything. That is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy learning more about us, our podcast, and our business journey. We would love to hear your story as well. If you're also a business owner or an author, feel free to email us or connect with us on Instagram at Twin Book Media. Our email and our social handles are linked in the show notes below. We would love for you to reach out to us, connect with us, and share your business story or journey. We would absolutely love to hear it because we're always looking to meet other entrepreneurs and authors who can relate to us and network. So we would love to chat with you. So we would love for you to share your business story with us if this resonated with you. So all of the links are in the show notes. Make sure to reach out and connect with us. And before you leave, also make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Tune in weekly so you don't miss an episode. We're planning to release a new episode every week, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any. And please review, rate this episode if you liked it, review the podcast, give us a good rating, and share it with anyone you know who could also benefit from it. We are so excited to keep going. and we appreciate your support. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Blessed Business Owners Podcast. We hope it was helpful and you enjoyed it. If this resonated with you today, we would love for you to rate, review, and share this with someone else who needs it. Looking to hire a virtual assistant or editor for your business? Send us an email, which is in the show notes below, at hello@twinbookmedia.com. Looking to work with a coach to grow your business? Book a paid 1-hour one-on-one coaching call with Stacey. The link is in the show notes below. Authors, not sure where to start with prepping your books for publishing and looking for support? Grab our free Editing Steps ebook in the show notes below. Until next time, everyone, work hard, be good to your clients and readers, and give all the glory to God. When you do, His blessings will come your way. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next episode.